My beloved child, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and allow your soul to grow still before the whisper that resounds from the heavens. This is not a random occurrence, nor an empty coincidence. Everything unfolding right now is part of the perfect design I planted long before you became aware of your own existence. At this very moment, the gate that has long been locked, the one you have yearned to pass through for years but never could, is slowly opening. Upon that door, your name is engraved with an unfading ink, an ink of the heavens blended from my grace, my promises, and my faithfulness. No one can erase it, no power can claim it, for it has belonged to you since the very beginning. I need you to set aside every distraction, every noise of life, so that your eyes and heart are fixed solely on me. For what you have persistently prayed, for what you have fasted over with tears, what you have held onto, like a treasure in your darkest days, is no longer in the distant future. It is not waiting for tomorrow nor delayed until next week. It is happening now in this very moment, as you read these words. This is the hour when the faith you have sown, watered with tears and hope, meets the radiant fulfillment I have promised to give. The delay that once seemed endless has now come to an end. No more postponement, no more prolonged silence that left you in confusion. Now I am pouring into your life the very things my own hands have carefully prepared, the things your heart was designed from the beginning to carry and to reveal. You have endured sleepless nights filled with unanswered questions. You have walked through heavy silences where your mind was surrounded by uncertainty and your heart weighed down with anxiety. You have faced trials that seemed they would crush your will. But my child, not a single moment of it was meaningless. Every tear you shed became a seed planted for the harvest you now see. Every time you collapsed thinking you could not rise again, I quietly lifted you up and set you back on the path I had prepared. Every trial that felt like an unbearable weight was, in truth, my hand strengthening you within, so that when this moment arrived, you could stand firm without fear. You never knew that while you were waiting in weariness, I was clearing unseen obstacles, opening pathways your eyes had never yet beheld. Today, everything comes together in a perfect symphony. The footsteps of angels echo like a confirmation that the appointed time for the promise has come. The light shining from the heavenly gate is not only to guide you through, but to make known to all around you that I am the one who has called you, sustained you, and now rewards your steadfastness. The wounds you once bore, the scars you thought would always carry pain, will now stand as living testimony to my faithfulness. And you will see clearly this truth: I have never abandoned you, not even in the moments you thought I was silent. All of it was preparation, so that the gift I bestow today would be complete and far more glorious. No trial you have endured has been wasted. Every pain, every season of waiting, every sigh in the midnight hour has been woven into a crown of glory upon your head. This is the moment for you to step out from the shadows of doubt into the light of fulfillment. And as you pass through that gate, every chain of the past will fall away, every burden will vanish, making way for freedom, for joy, and for new life from me. You have arrived at the appointed time, neither early nor late, but precisely at the moment I ordained before the foundations of this world were set in motion. From this point forward, your journey will enter a new season, a season of fulfillment, of promises unveiled, and of my love being poured out without measure. All you need to do is follow me, for everything else I have already completed. What I am placing into your hands today is not meant to bless you alone. It will ripple outward like unseen waves, touching people's circumstances and spheres of influence connected to your life. This blessing will not be confined within the walls of personal gain, but will surpass the boundaries of time, reaching generations yet unborn. It will shape stories not yet written, alter outcomes once thought unchangeable, and open doors you never imagined existed. And my child, this moment is not some distant day in the far-off future, it is now, in this very instant. The realm of the Spirit is stirring. The call from heaven resounds urgent, like the beating of war drums rallying soldiers to advance. The angels are no longer standing still, waiting for commands. They are moving swiftly at my word to deliver this into your hands. For what I am entrusting to you is not merely a gift, but a flame, a commission, carrying the power to shake the very roots of a lineage. It is something that can rewrite your family's story, break the chains that have bound for generations, and lay a solid foundation for those who will come after you. This gift is not light as a passing breeze. It is weighty not with pressure or fear, but with meaning, with the greatness of the purpose woven into it. It is fully covered by my power and saturated with the oil of obedience you have faithfully guarded over the years. Each time you said yes without fully understanding, each moment you chose faithfulness over giving up, I added drop by drop to this vessel. And now the vessel is full, ready to be poured out. The heavens are no longer silent as they were during the days of trial. I have spoken. My voice echoes through the unseen corridors of destiny, where your name is proclaimed with solemnity and authority. In that space, all opposition must retreat, and every door once sealed shut must open. Your name is spoken not as one standing on the sidelines, but as one entrusted with a commission from the very throne. You do not yet see the full picture. Your eyes may not yet perceive the change, your ears may not yet catch the full sound of the shifting season, but I do not require you to see everything before you believe. I ask you to believe me. Now to believe as though what I promised is already complete, to believe, as though your hands are already holding it. For what I pour out today will serve as the seal confirming every word I have ever spoken to you, promises that in the weariness of waiting, you once feared you had lost faith in. I want you to know this with certainty: you have never been set aside or forgotten. Even when others overlooked your name, I remembered, and today I do more than remember, I choose you again. This is not a random selection, but a reaffirmation from the very one who called you from the beginning. When I choose you, no other force can override or undo that choice. My child, this is the hour of fulfillment. It is not a season of testing, not a trial to endure, but the moment when I place the seal of completion on your season of waiting. And what I am bringing today will be wrapped in grace, a grace so deep that no power in heaven or on earth can reverse it. When I open, no one can shut. When I decree, no one can erase. From this moment forward, you will begin to see the links of your life connect. The scattered pieces that have long seemed unrelated will find their rightful place. Every step you take will carry the confirmation from heaven that you are in the right place at the right time, fulfilling the right mission. And this grace will not only follow you today, but will go with you, protecting, guiding, and strengthening you in every season to come. You no longer need to seek the approval of man, for I have publicly affirmed you before the sun, the moon, and the hosts of heaven. No force can take this from your hand, and no negative word can dim the light I have placed within you. This is the final word to every doubt that has ever surrounded you. You are chosen, you are anointed, and you are sent to shake the world for my glory. Release your grip on the invisible cords that have bound your heart for so long. The fear that once stalked you, gripping you like a cold shadow, now has no place in the land I am leading you into. It once whispered that you were not strong enough, that you would fail again, that you were unworthy of the blessing I promised. But my child, every one of those voices is but an illusion, a remnant of a past that no longer holds power over you. When I have declared freedom, no chain, whether forged of iron or woven in words, can keep you bound. The doors that once slammed shut before you, sending you away in bitterness and shame, are now trembling and swinging open. They no longer mock or scorn you, but open wide to welcome you as one anointed and appointed to enter. Places that once pushed you to the margins will now seek to hold you close, not because you have changed to please them, but because the presence I have placed in you has transformed the very atmosphere around you. You are no longer frozen at the crossroads of doubt. You stand at the threshold of a divine liberation. A line that once crossed will never see you return to the days of confinement and limitation. This moment is like standing before the wide sea where I have parted the waters, and you need only step onto the dry path leading to the promised land. Every step will carry the assurance that my power is at work, that every word I have spoken is true, and not one will fall to the ground in vain. My voice is resounding louder than ever over your life. It is not a distant echo, but a call right by your ear, a stirring deep within your soul. I do not speak so you may merely hear. I speak so you may act. I speak so you will know. This moment is a divine appointment where your faith meets my fulfillment. Do not hesitate. Do not look back. Do not weigh the familiar against what I am unfolding. You will miss it if you cling to the past I have called you to leave behind. What you are about to step into will far surpass anything you have ever lost. Your loss was not the end, but the space I prepared to fill with something infinitely greater. You will see that the wounds that once brought you to your knees will become testimony to my restoring power. The brokenness that made you think you could never rise again will become the launching pad that propels you farther, stronger, higher. And the dreams you once clung to thinking they had crumbled into dust will be returned not only whole but more radiant and complete than you ever imagined. My child, this is not mere comfort. This gift is real. It is not the fragile promise of man, but the unshakable faithfulness of mine. I do not give you something temporary only to take it back. I do not place something in your hand as a trial only to abandon you. I give only what has been carefully prepared, refined through the fire, and anointed to fit you perfectly. And you, after years of perseverance and steadfast endurance, are now ready to receive. This moment is not a random point in the timeline of your life. It is a moment I marked long before you were born. Everything that has happened before, both joy and sorrow, both success and failure, has only been the stepping stones leading you to this very hour. And now, with everything in place, with heaven and earth bearing witness in unison, I declare, the best is coming. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more prepared, but today. Yes, the best, the very thing, before which all else pales in comparison, is being given to you alone. No one can take it from you. No power can stop it. No circumstance can delay it any longer. It is sent forth from my throne, sealed with the blood of the eternal covenant, and guarded by my heavenly host until it reaches your hands. Walk forward with gratitude and confidence. Do not look at this gift with hesitation or doubt, as if it might vanish at any moment. Receive it with courage, for it has been destined for you and no one else. Let my grace cover you. Let my love soothe every wound, and let my power tear down every remaining barrier. Today I give you not only the best, I give you myself, the one who has walked with you through every valley, lifted you over every mountain, and held your hand through every storm. And as you step into this new season, remember that what you carry is not merely a blessing, but a living testimony that I am the faithful God who never breaks a promise and always completes what I have begun. Never see the waiting period as proof of neglect or rejection. In my eyes, there has never been a moment when you were cast aside from the plan. Every seemingly silent moment has been part of a perfect strategy where I shielded you from receiving something before you were ready. If I gave you this blessing too soon, it would be like a blazing fire placed in the hands of one who does not yet know how to tend it. It could burn instead of warm, destroy instead of nurture. I love you enough to say, not yet, even when you plead, please now. What I have prepared for you carries a weight that cannot be taken lightly. It is not a delicate gift placed in your hand for casual use, but a great responsibility anointed and intertwined with eternal purpose. To bear it well, your soul must be trained steady as a foundation that cannot be shaken by the fiercest storm. I do not wish to place a crown so heavy upon you that it forces you to bow and lose yourself, but a crown that honors you and brings glory to me. That is why I have required you to walk through the seasons you call hardship, but I call seasons of refinement. In those seasons I have removed what is unnecessary, cut away habits that could cause you to stumble, and released from your grasp the things you cling to that do not bring life. You have not known that every loss was my gentle way of lifting unneeded weight from you, so that when you receive the blessing, you may run with it instead of collapsing beneath it. I have also led you into seasons of surrender times when you had no choice but to trust me. Those were the moments you learned that control is not the key to keeping peace. Surrender is the path to true rest for the soul. In those days you felt as though you were walking through darkness, yet I remained the light guiding you, even if you could see only enough for the next step. And it is in that very darkness that true faith was formed, not faith built on what you can see, but an enduring trust in the one you cannot see yet is always present. I have also allowed you to walk through seasons of release moments when you had to loosen your grip on what you believed was essential to your survival. I know it hurt. I have seen the tears you shed when you had to part with dreams, relationships, or opportunities that once seemed precious. Yet, my child, if I had not compelled you to let go, your hands would have had no space to receive what is new. What I remove has never been a true loss, but rather a preparation, so that you may hold firmly to the very best I am about to place in your hands. Your character, the deep core that shapes how you respond to life, requires time to be carved into strength. Each challenge is a chisel mark, each hardship a careful engraving, and through every mark you are being shaped into one who will not be swayed by praise nor crushed by criticism. I need you to become someone who can stand steadfast when storms surround you, someone whose victories will not lead to pride and whose failures will not drive you to despair. Your faith, too, must journey toward maturity. At first, it is like a small seed sprouting only when the sun is gentle and the rain is light. But I have allowed it to endure fierce winds, relentless storms, and even drought, so that its roots would grow deep, seeking the hidden streams only I can provide. Young faith survives on convenience. Mature faith lives on absolute trust, even when everything around you insists that hope is gone. And your abilities, what you are capable of, cannot be built on convenience or natural talent alone. I have expanded them through tasks you thought were beyond you, through opportunities that required you to learn what you did not know, through moments when you failed but did not quit. I have drawn you out of your comfort zone not to frighten you, but to show you that your capacity is not confined to what is familiar. I have led you into work you never imagined you could do, only so you might see that I have placed within you a potential far beyond what you can conceive. My child, every season I have allowed you to endure has been part of a perfect design. Not one season is without purpose. Not one tear has fallen without my notice. Not one prayer has gone unheard. All of it is forming a foundation strong enough to bear the weight of the blessing I am preparing to set upon you, a blessing that will not crush you, but will cause you to stand taller, stronger, and more radiant than ever before. And when that moment comes, you will not only recognize the blessing with your eyes, but feel it in every beat of your heart. You will understand that the waiting was never wasted. It was the very time your roots were growing deeper, your wings growing stronger, and your soul expanding wide enough to embrace the gift I am about to give. In that hour, you will not merely hold the blessing for yourself. You will become the vessel through which it flows, touching those around you, and even generations yet to be born. I have silently watched every beat of your heart, searching the hidden chambers that even you cannot always find the words to describe. I have seen each intention, each motive, each secret place you have kept tucked away in the quiet corners of your soul. I have observed the way you kept moving forward when every path ahead seemed shrouded in darkness. I have seen your perseverance, not only in the moments when others were watching, but in the times when it was just you and me, when no one else knew that you chose faithfulness over surrender. I have heard the prayers you have never spoken aloud. There are petitions you have only thought in your mind, sighs you have only breathed in your heart, but to me they resound as clearly as a desperate cry in the stillness of the night. I have held each of those prayers, letting none be forgotten. Every silent plea, every unspoken desire I have etched into my heart, not because I need them to know what you long for, but because I want you to know that to me, everything that concerns you, whether great or small, holds immeasurable worth. Now, as I look at you, I do not merely see someone who has endured and overcome trials. I see someone who has been refined. I see a soul that can carry what is sacred without turning it into a medal to flaunt. I see a person who understands that true glory comes from serving and obeying, not from being admired or praised. I had to be certain of one thing: when I place this blessing and responsibility into your hands, you will not let the applause of men divert your vision. I do not want you to dilute your mission just to please the crowd, nor to trade eternal purpose for temporary approval. Even more so, I do not want you to drift away from me, forgetting the source of all that you have received, just to cling with your own strength to what I have already given. Many have received blessings but lost them because they forgot that it was I who bestowed them. I do not want that to happen to you. And now I know your heart is steady enough not to be carried away by the sound of applause. Your hands are pure enough not to turn the sacred into a tool for self-interest. Your motives are clean enough that every action will spring from love and faithfulness, not ambition or fear. You no longer seek your worth through the eyes of others, but have found it in your intimate relationship with me. This readiness is not merely about outward ability, nor about having accumulated enough experience or skill. It is a readiness that goes beyond human capacity. It is about being positioned in the right place in the spiritual realm. Every trial you have faced was not only to make you mature, but to place you exactly here at this exact moment. Like the final piece of a puzzle that has been carefully shaped to fit perfectly into the greater picture, you now stand precisely where I have always intended you to be. What I am about to entrust to you is not meant to be preserved as a treasured relic, but to be nurtured, developed, and multiplied into even greater fruitfulness. It is a seed full of power, and I trust that you will neither bury it in fear nor use it for selfish ends. You will tend it as a gardener tends a rare plant, patiently watering it, protecting it from harm, and rejoicing when it bears fruit for many to enjoy. My child, I have waited a long time for this day. The day when I can look at you and know there is nothing standing between what I long to give and your ability to steward it well. You are not only chosen to receive, you are chosen to govern, to make what I give even more glorious, greater in impact and far-reaching in influence. And when you receive it, remember, this is not a reward for your effort alone, but the result of the journey we have walked together. This is the confirmation that I have seen, I have heard, I have understood, and I have prepared this for you long ago. It is the evidence that every trial, every delay, and every not yet you have encountered was only to bring you to this now. Step forward with humility, for what you are about to receive is holy. Step forward with strength, for I have given you the power to hold and advance it. And step forward with joy, for this is not only for you, but so that blessing may flow through you and touch the lives of many others. You did not seek to shorten the journey or rush to the finish line by your own strength, but you patiently allowed me to complete the work I was doing in you. Each day in the waiting was not wasted time, but a step in the refining process, shaping every part of you in the right way and at the right time. You allowed me to chisel away what was unnecessary, to add what was needed, and to prepare you to be complete for what was coming. And now that season has come to a close. The waiting has reached its end. The seal you have long carried in silence has been removed. Nothing stands between you and what I have promised. But I am not stopping at blessing you as a mere reward. I am opening before you a door into a new dimension of purpose, deeper, broader, and carrying an influence far beyond anything you have ever imagined. This is not a repetition of what you have known, but an entirely different stage where every step you take will be guided by revelation and empowered by heavenly authority. You were once hidden not because you were forgotten, but because I desired to protect and nurture you in a season of concealment. During that time, I caused your roots to grow deep, so that your strength would not depend on outward light, but on the life source I continually poured into you. You learned how to be strong where no one could see, how to win battles in silence, and how to stand firm without the applause of others. But today the concealment ends. You are being brought out from the hidden place into a divine unveiling. Like a seed that has endured a long winter and now pushes through the soil, you will begin to display the colors and fragrance I planted within you long ago. The light I placed in you will no longer be covered, and the voice I have given you will reach farther than you ever thought possible. This is the moment when everything changes, not because you have skillfully maneuvered circumstances, but because perseverance has brought you here. It was steadfastness that kept the flame in you burning through the night. It was steadfastness that made you keep walking when the path ahead showed no sign of light. You did not allow delay to break you. On the contrary, you grew stronger with every day of waiting. Delay did not discourage you. It became the very environment in which you matured, where your faith was built upon an unshakable foundation. You learned to discern my voice amidst the chaos of countless others. You did not complain when I was silent, but you used the silence to listen more deeply, to grasp lessons that words alone could not teach. Now heaven is responding not with a gentle whisper, but with a clear declaration that the appointed time has arrived. Angels have been dispatched, the door has been opened, and every obstacle that once held you back has now become the launching pad for your advancement. You will see the arrangements I quietly prepared in the dark, now revealed in the light, clear, undeniable, and filled with my authority. My child, from this moment forward, you are not merely stepping into a new season, you are stepping into an entirely new realm. This is the time when what I placed in you will begin to bear fruit, not just for your own life, but for many others. This is the time when you will realize that every tear, every prayer, every act of patience in trial had value, and all of it has led to this glorious outcome. This shift was not initiated by human opinion or persuasion, nor was it born out of the natural flow of life's events. It originated and was decreed in the highest court of heaven, the place where my throne is established forever, where every decision is issued without the possibility of being opposed or delayed by any force. In that eternal palace, the gavel of justice has struck, the case concerning you has been heard, and the final verdict has been rendered, a verdict that cannot be appealed, cannot be overturned, and cannot be diminished. When the enemy sought to dig through your past, to unearth every scar, every mistake, every moment of weakness, in order to accuse and humiliate you, I stepped into the very center of that courtroom. I did not stand merely as a witness in your defense, but as your ultimate advocate, both judge and redeemer. I covered every trace of guilt with the thick mantle of my mercy. What was once wielded as evidence against you has now been erased from the record, leaving no trace in the archives of the heavenly court. When people tried to diminish you, to assign your worth solely by the errors you once made, I rose and called you by name, not by the label of your past, but by the new title sealed with my righteousness. I not only restored your dignity, but lifted you higher than where you stood before you fell. The rumors, the whispers, the disdainful glances no longer hold the power to define you, for my verdict has been declared: you are righteous in me, forgiven, restored, chosen, and anointed for a new purpose. My child, I do not look at you through the distorted lens of man, a lens that magnifies faults and blurs true worth. I see you through the radiant light of eternal truth, through the eyes of the one who formed you from the dust and breathed into you the breath of life. I see not only what you have endured, but what I have destined you to become. I am not limited by what human eyes can see, nor am I hindered by what you think cannot change. I see clearly the finished design I have crafted, and I know exactly where you belong in this appointed moment. This is not merely an act of pardon, it is a divine repositioning. From the court of heaven, your acquittal is pronounced alongside a summons. You are not only freed from the chains of accusation, but entrusted with the authority to step into the place I have prepared for you. No longer the one on trial, you are now the one commissioned. No longer the accused, you are the one bearing the mission. You must understand that this transformation is not the result of anything you did to defend yourself. You did not win this case through clever arguments or compelling evidence. This victory is entirely because I stood in your place, fought on your behalf, and issued the final ruling. That is why this triumph cannot be taken from you, because it does not rest on you, but on me, the one who never loses. From this day forward, you no longer need to live in fear that your past will come knocking again. The stains that once haunted you have been completely washed away. The door once closed by sin has been opened by my hand, mighty in power, overflowing in love. No one has the right to point at you and define you by what you once were. I have placed a new seal upon your forehead, the seal of belonging to me, of righteousness, of a purpose that cannot be revoked. And as you walk in this new verdict, remember that it does not only change your position, it changes the way you see yourself. I want you to see yourself as I see you, strong, precious, chosen, and sent. You are no longer a prisoner of the past, but a citizen of my kingdom, carrying the inheritance and authority of the firstborn son. My child, this is the moment I turn accusation into testimony, failure into the foundation for victory, and you from one brought low into the one set at the head of the mission I have given you. All of this was decreed not in earthly chambers, but in the very court of heaven where I reign forever. And when a verdict is issued from that place, both heaven and earth must bow to it. What is unfolding around you is not meaningless chaos or a series of uncontrolled random upheavals, but a sacred symphony meticulously orchestrated by my very hand. Every movement, every occurrence, no matter how small, falls within the framework of a perfect plan established long before you were even aware of it. If your eyes could pierce through the veil of reality, you would see everything moving like interlocking gears, perfectly aligned, never a beat too late, never a step out of place, each one advancing toward the purpose I have set for you. You may feel as though you are surrounded by a whirlwind, caught in sudden changes that quicken your heartbeat, but in truth, it is only the prelude to a song of victory drawing near. Not a single detail is without meaning. The seemingly chance encounters, the doors that open or close without warning, the words spoken at just the right moment, or the prolonged silences, all are woven together in the music of heaven, where I am the conductor guiding every note, every rhythm. The things you thought had been laid to rest, the promises you believed forgotten, the dreams you once wrapped away and placed in the deepest corner of your heart, now they are awakening. They are like seeds that have endured a long winter, seemingly buried forever, yet in secret their roots have grown deep, preparing for a bloom unlike any before. Now is the time for them to break through the surface, to shatter the hardened shell, to rise into the light, and to become reality. What was once bound is now being released. The chain that held your mind captive in fear has been broken. The door that imprisoned your dreams has been thrown wide open. The hand that pressed down upon you to keep you from stepping out has been swept aside, and you will see that what has held you back all this time was never the strength of the enemy, but the timing I had not yet permitted. Now every limitation has been removed, not by the pressure of time, but by my sovereign decree. The delay has ended. No more long days of waiting and uncertainty. no more not yet that left you sighing. And the reason it ends is not because the clock has simply run out, but because I have risen and spoken. When I speak, time itself must adjust. When I speak, all things must yield. The power of my word overrides every human schedule, surpasses every plan of the world. I have stepped in not as a passive observer, but as the sovereign who comes to act. My presence has altered the very atmosphere around you. What was once heavy is now light. What was once cold is now warmed. What was once darkness is now ablaze with light. When I am present, everything must move. Everything must shift to align with my will. My child, know that this is the hour of divine intervention. This is the moment when I not only lift you out of where you have been, but place you exactly where you need to be to begin the long-awaited harvest. Every event unfolding now, whether you understand it or not, is a brick being laid in the foundation for your next step. Not a single movement is wasted, not a single detail overlooked. Now you will begin to see doors that once stood firmly shut open effortlessly, as if they had been waiting for you all along. You will notice that the people you need to meet will appear at precisely the right moment, carrying what you need, even without you ever voicing it. You will find yourself walking into situations that might once have filled you with anxiety, but now they will become opportunities for you to witness my hand at work so clearly that it cannot be denied. All of this is not meant for you to marvel at briefly and then forget, but so that you may know when I have spoken, all things must move. And when I have stepped in, you no longer have to strain to manage or arrange everything yourself. I have done it, I am doing it, and I will continue to do it until the promise is fulfilled. Open your heart wide and prepare for what is beyond imagination, for what is coming is not merely a shift in certain areas of your life, but a spiritual revolution, where every detail is being set in its precise place within my eternal design. Keep your spirit awake, for these movements do not come from human will, but from the very throne of the Eternal One. I am not merely guiding each step you take. I am aligning your entire life into the perfect orbit that harmonizes with the operations of heaven, where everything beats in rhythm with my will. This is not simply an important moment, it is the golden hour of divine movement. And you, yes, you are one of the very reasons heaven is stirring so mightily. Every plan, every arrangement, every action now unfolding is not by chance, but because your name has been spoken aloud in the corridors of heaven. I have seen it all the days you stood at the crossroads, the weight pressing on your shoulders until your legs trembled, and how you nearly agreed to settle for something far smaller than what I called you to accomplish. I have heard the whisper of the enemy seeping into your mind, words that sound sweet, yet are laced with poison, cloaked in what appears to be wisdom and practicality. It told you that your standards are too high, that if you remain this steadfast, you will be isolated, that your discernment is a barrier keeping you from the approval of others. It called your steadfastness stubbornness, your clear boundaries offensiveness. It whispered that the burden you carry is meaningless, that life would be easier if you would simply loosen the very principles that make you stand out and set you apart. But my child, I have never placed you on this path so that you would bow and fit into someone else's mold. I did not create you to live according to the fleeting expectations of the world, but so that you would reflect a higher standard, the standard of my kingdom. I chose you to be a voice that speaks even when the multitude is silent, a flame that burns bright even when darkness covers the land, a steadfast marker that remains unmoved even when storms rage. If you lower your standard to fit in with the crowd, you will lose the very thing for which you were called. My calling is not an empty burden. It is the key that unlocks the door into the very purpose I have intended for your life from the beginning. The enemy knows this well, which is why it works tirelessly to draw you into compromise, because it knows that the moment you yield, you will lose the sharpness of your discernment and the fire of your calling. I want you to understand that the standards I have placed within you are not meant to isolate you, but to keep you set apart from the things that would defile or weaken your purpose. They are protective boundaries, not chains, a secure fortress, not a wall of separation. They keep you in the position where I can fill you with the most precious treasures of heaven, treasures I cannot entrust to those who would readily trade truth for convenience. My child, remember that my approval matters more than any approval from man. What I call right will remain right even if the entire world opposes it, and what I call wrong will remain wrong even if everyone agrees with it. I do not need you to be loved by all. I need you to be faithful to me, even when it sets you apart. Now, as I am working to bring you into a new season, be courageous in holding on to what I have placed within your heart. Do not let lies disguised as reasons steal the treasure I have given you. Do not let the fear of rejection cause you to choose a comfortable yet empty path. And never forget that your calling is unique. No one else can fulfill it for you, just as you cannot fulfill another's. I am preparing to open doors you could not have imagined before. But to walk through them, you must carry steadfastness, discernment, and unshakable faithfulness, for these very qualities will be your ticket into the divine orchestration I have appointed. And when you enter, every eye will see, every ear will hear, and every mouth will have to acknowledge that you have been sent and endorsed by me. I have seen every moment when you stood under the pressure to be silent, when unseen currents tried to pull you into accepting a mediocre life far from the dignity I have personally engraved deep within your soul. There were moments when alluring invitations whispered in your ear, when opportunities appeared to shine with light. But my child, not every light comes from me. Many of them are counterfeit lamps, lit only to distract you, slow your steps, and even lead you away from the path I have been patiently building within you. I allowed you to feel hesitation, and you thought it was weakness. But no, that was not a lack of courage. It was me quietly stirring your spirit, awakening your spiritual intuition, so that you would not say yes to things that would steal your deepest joy and dismantle the perfect plan I have set in place since the beginning. You must recognize this clearly. Sometimes the enemy does not appear in a threatening form or with an obvious plan of destruction. It is more subtle than that. Instead of pushing you into immediate failure, it offers you an early kind of success, something that at first glance seems dazzling and beautiful, but inside is hollow, lifeless, and without lasting roots. Such successes are like fruit, ripened too soon, pleasing to the eye, yet quick to spoil. They cause you to lose sight of the true purpose, to bypass the process designed to refine you, and to make you a compromiser before you can ever touch the greatness I have prepared. I know there have been times when you stood before wide-open doors, your heart filled with anticipation, thinking they were the answers to the prayers you had lifted for so long. But I held your hand back, for I knew that if you stepped through, the initial light would soon turn to darkness and the fleeting excitement would become chains binding your soul. You could not see every hidden corner beyond that door, but I could. You could not hear the whispers of concealed schemes, but I could. You could not foresee the wounds to your spirit that might follow, but I had already known. And so I did not permit you to enter, even if in that moment you felt a sense of loss or disappointment. Sometimes, my protection does not come in the form of spectacular miracles, but in the quiet moments when I gently pull you away from what you believe to be good. I have seen the weariness in your soul as you wrestle with the prolonged wait. I know there have been times when your faith felt like a fragile thread stretched to the point of breaking. Yet it is in those very moments that I draw nearer, standing between you and what appears to be an opportunity but is, in truth, a cleverly disguised snare. I have shielded you from what you almost embraced, for it would have caused you to lose the very best I have prepared for you. Do you not see? Every delay, every no I have spoken, was never because you were unworthy. On the contrary, it is because you were destined to receive something far too great, far too significant for me to allow anything lesser to take its place. The enemy does not fear a person who fails. It fears one who waits patiently to receive the fullness of what is theirs. For when that happens, the victory is not just a fleeting moment, it becomes a legacy, a living testimony to my power and faithfulness. My child, remember this. There are roads lined with flowers that lead to the depths of the abyss. There are voices that sound like heavenly music, yet draw the soul into darkness. And there are times when I cause you to stand still, not to abandon you, but to protect you from paths whose dangers you have yet to perceive. When you learn to trust me, in the moments of delay, you will come to see that the slowness was in fact my hands clearing the way for something better, greater, and more enduring than anything you have ever dreamed. So do not be afraid when I say not yet. Do not lose heart when the door before you closes. For when I open a door reserved solely for you, it will not lead to regret but to joy made complete. No one will be able to shut it, no force will be able to destroy it, and no word will be able to dim the light I will shine upon you. The success I give will not fade with time, for it will be born of my own hand and guarded by my eternal power. I have prepared a blessing not only surpassing anything you have ever hoped for, but also carefully shaped and refined to fit perfectly with the mission I have placed upon your life. It will be unlike any gift you have ever received, for it is not merely a bestowal, it is part of the grand design I have written for every breath you take and every step you walk. When it comes, it will carry no hidden burdens, no cost to the peace you have learned to protect, and it will not steal away the precious moments I want you to spend on what truly matters. It will not exploit you, nor violate the boundaries you have drawn with tears, with experience, and with my guidance. Rather, it will blend into the rhythm of your life, as naturally as if it had belonged to you since the dawn of creation. My child, the season of endurance of settling for what is partial and temporary has officially ended. I am calling you to leave behind every thought that says this is enough and step into a new reality where the only words you can utter will be, "This is the very best, straight from the hand of God." For what I have appointed for you is not merely a reward. It is my declaration that I have seen, I have heard, I have remembered, and I have answered every prayer you have ever lifted to me. I will not place in your hands a blessing that is beautiful only on the surface but hollow within. What I give will carry no hidden traps, no schemes, no concealed conditions. It will come with the purity of love and the absolute goodness of my intent. And you will not have to lose yourself in order to keep it. You will not have to compromise your values, silence the voice within, or deny the truth I have placed inside you just to remain in something that was never meant for you. On the contrary, that blessing will lift you higher, fortify your dignity and faith, and deepen your understanding of me. You will not have to fight to be seen, plead to be understood, or struggle to be chosen, for it will recognize you on its own. It will see the anointing I have placed upon your life, acknowledge my presence within you, and come to you without your needing to explain or prove yourself. You see, this blessing is woven from the sacred threads of the time I have appointed. Each thread is a promise, a tear you have shed a moment when you chose obedience, though you could not see a way forward. It has been formed from the nights you stayed awake in prayer, from the days you waited patiently, while everything around you insisted it was too late. Every part of this blessing reflects the process you have endured, yet carries no trace of the pain, only the radiance of transformation. I want you to understand that what comes from me always aligns perfectly with the blueprint I have written for you, so much so that when you receive it, you will see how flawlessly it fits every detail of your life. It will not constrict, nor overflow, nor cause you to lose what is yours. Instead, it will make you feel complete, as if a missing piece you had been waiting for your whole life has finally found its place. Remember, everything I give not only meets your immediate needs, but also strengthens you to go further, stand firmer, and walk more boldly on the path I have set before you. This is not a gift to be kept only for yourself, but a tool to fulfill the mission I have entrusted to you. It will open doors you never dared to imagine, connect you with people you never thought you would meet, and place you in positions where my light can shine powerfully through your life. Therefore, when this blessing arrives, receive it not with anxiety or doubt, but with deep gratitude and a readiness to step into a new season. Do not look back at what you have missed, for compared to what I am about to give, everything before was only a prelude. Do not fear losing it, for I have appointed it for you, and no force can take it away. And do not try to keep it by your own strength, for I, myself, will protect and sustain it as long as you keep me at the center of it all. My child, this blessing will come as such a clear answer that you will no longer question whether it is my hand. It will carry a peace the world cannot give and cannot take away. It will cause you to lift your eyes and say, Lord, you are truly good. And in that moment you will understand it is not merely because you waited, but because I had ordained this exact time for you before the foundation of the world. There have been moments when you felt left behind, when every door you knocked on stayed shut, when the hands once extended to you were withdrawn, leaving you standing alone in the emptiness of waiting. In those times your heart ached and you thought you had been rejected, forgotten. You saw others welcomed, given opportunities, guided into places you had long prayed to enter. You watched them walk paths you felt should have been yours, and a bitterness you could not name rose within you. You began to wonder, is there something I lack? Did I miss an important sign? Am I not capable or worthy like they are? But listen to me clearly. My child, those closed doors, those withdrawn arms, were never signs that I had abandoned you. They were my sacred preservation walls I built to keep you from stepping into places not appointed for you, or places where, had you forced your way in, your soul would have been worn down. I am the one who orchestrated those refusals. They were not random, nor were they unjust. They were intentional interventions carefully arranged to guard the future I have been quietly building for you. You do not realize that if I were to let you step through certain doors before the time I have appointed, you would pay for it with your peace, with the very value of who you are. The places you long for may appear to be filled with laughter and light on the outside, yet within they conceal schemes, pressures, and entanglements that could choke the calling I have placed within you. You only see the surface, but I see every hidden layer beneath. You see only the beginning of the road, but I see its very end. Understand, this delay does not mean failure. I am not keeping you waiting because you are unworthy, but because what I have prepared for you is still being made ready, refined to the point of perfection. I do not want you to receive something temporary, only to pay for it with your future. Every time I close a door, it is to keep you from being drawn into something that would cause you to lose your identity and your calling. Every time you are denied, it is because I am reserving a place for an opportunity that is truer, deeper, and far more enduring. You have prayed for me to open doors, and when they did not open, you thought I was silent. But in truth, I have been working all along, though you could not yet see it. I have been arranging every event, every person, every circumstance in an order that cannot be altered. I know the exact moment when that blessing should appear, the moment when you are mature enough to hold it, and when the environment around you is ready to receive you. So do not be quick to compare your journey with someone else's. You do not know the burdens they carry or the compromises they may have made to hold what they have. You only see the visible parts of their story, while I know the hidden chapters you have never heard. What you need is to trust that I have not overlooked you, have not forgotten you, and will not let you stray from the path I have set before you. The rejections you feel today will one day become the very things you thank me for. They have kept you within the safe boundaries of my spiritual protection, guarding you from what may have seemed like opportunities but were truly traps. On the day you step into what I have truly prepared for you, you will understand that every no of the past was a brick laid on the road that led to the complete yes I had promised. And in that moment you will no longer see rejection as a wound, but as evidence of my love, a love that knows when to give and when to withhold, so that you may receive the very best at the right time. I have waited patiently, not because I forgot you, but because every detail of the larger picture of your life had to be set in its rightful place. I waited until every element bowed to my supreme purpose, until the surrounding circumstances no longer clashed but harmonized like a chorus in perfect unity, until the maturity within your soul matched the weight of the promise I had spoken. I waited until the walls of human hearts were softened, until the barriers of resistance were broken, until the hands that once opposed you were lowered, and until your destiny was no longer held back by any force seeking to delay it. And now, my child, the silence is beginning to lift. The waiting is no longer a formless void, but a threshold opening into the light. What I have been quietly building in the hidden place is about to emerge, no longer covered by shadows or forgotten by time. You will see the door before you swing wide open, not merely because you have persisted in knocking, but because I, myself, have held the key and turned it from within. This is not a stroke of random luck, nor is it a meaningless coincidence. This is the outcome of divine orchestration, a plan measured to the exact moment, neither a breath too soon nor a heartbeat too late. What I am about to give you is not something hastily made, nor is it a trivial reward meant to comfort you for a fleeting moment. It has been refined over time through trials and through seasons in which you thought nothing was happening. Each day in the silence, I have added to it a layer of worth, a depth of strength, a lasting fragrance that only time and the furnace of testing could bring. I have set everything in its precise place, resources that will steady you, relationships that will uphold you, locations that will open new opportunities, and affirmations that will strengthen your faith. All of these have been aligned like the final moves in a chess game, each one calculated in advance to lead to an inevitable victory. You will come to see that nothing in your past journey was wasted or meaningless. The delays you once resented were actually strategic moves to keep you from falling into the enemy's hands before you were ready. Encounters that seemed accidental were in fact essential links that connected you to your mission. Even losses were merely my way of clearing the path so that what truly belongs to you could enter in. And when it comes, you will not have to strain to hold on to it. It will cling to you as though it had been inscribed with your name from the beginning. You will not have to beg anyone to recognize your worth, for the very blessing itself will stand as a living testimony that I am with you. You will not have to trade your peace or compromise your true nature, for everything I give carries wholeness within it. My child, this is the moment where your faith and my faithfulness meet. Everything is ready not only in the world around you, but within you as well. Your heart no longer wavers as it once did. Your vision has been sharpened to discern what is truly precious among countless options. Your spirit has learned how to wait without losing hope, and that very posture has prepared you to step in without being swept away by fleeting glamour. Everything has been prepared for this very hour. When you step forward, you will not simply enter through a door. You will enter into a new season in which every element, people, resources, and circumstances will work together to support and propel you. This is the reward of the long process you and I have walked together, and you will see that every moment of waiting was worth it, for it has brought you to the right place at the right time in the right way I have ordained from the beginning. And when you cross that threshold, you will sense a distinct change in the atmosphere around you. Everything will feel brighter, lighter, and more alive. The voices of doubt that once echoed in your mind will fall silent. The unseen burdens that once weighed upon your shoulders will drop away, allowing you to walk with a straight posture and a gaze filled with confidence. You will know that this is not merely an opportunity, this is a destined moment, the meeting point of the promises I have spoken and the patience you have kept. Every step you take will be guided by a deep peace, the kind of peace the world cannot give and cannot take away. You will see the next doors open effortlessly, not because you are forcing them, but because my hand continues to turn the key from within. I will lead you into connections you never imagined possible, and to meet people only I could arrange to appear at precisely the right moment. They will not merely be supporters, but carriers of pieces of the greater picture, joining with you to fulfill the mission I have appointed. You will understand that every previous delay was in fact a moment where I was refining, perfecting, and protecting you. The seemingly silent days were the time I was laying a firm foundation for what you are about to enter. Like a seed in the ground, though there was no outward sign of life within it, was already sprouting and preparing to break forth stronger than ever. And when it pierces the surface, it will not merely appear. It will emerge with vigorous life, ready to face the light and the open air. My child, what I am bringing you into is not a pause, but a new beginning. It is not the end of the story, but the opening of a chapter that is more beautiful, deeper, and more radiant. This is the moment when you no longer have to chase after something, for it will come to you. This is the moment when everything within you and around you moves in unison, in harmony, to create an outpouring of life, blessing, and purpose. And when you are in it, remember that it is I who opened the door, arranged the way, and placed it in your hands. Keep your heart humble and your hands open, for what I give you is not for you to keep to yourself, but to make you a source of blessing to many others. You will become a living testimony that I am never late, that every time I choose is perfect, and that not a single word I have spoken will fall to the ground without being fulfilled. On that day when you look back, you will no longer regret the rejections or the doors that closed. You will see clearly that every no in the past was to open the way for a greater, better, and more enduring yes. You will smile not because you finally achieved what you wanted, but because you realize what I wanted for you was far greater. In that moment, you will be grateful not only for the reward, but for the entire journey that brought you here. A journey I have walked with you step by step, from the shadows into the fullness of light. Your obedience in days that seemed empty and silent was never meaningless. Every time you chose to trust, to stand still and waiting, rather than rushing ahead in your own will, you were quietly signing a covenant with me, agreeing with what I was setting in motion behind the unseen veil. You did not know that each decision to let go of impatience, each time you chose silence over forcing a door open, was like a gentle hammer, breaking the invisible chains that had been holding you back. Your surrender was not merely an attitude. It was the golden key that unlocked a path you never imagined you would walk. Your will to keep moving forward, even when I had not yet spoken, is proof that you have matured. For true faith is not only revealed when all is clear, but also when darkness covers and my voice seems silent. In those moments you still chose to walk, not because you saw the path, but because you knew the one who goes before you. That is what has made you worthy of this moment, the moment when heaven and earth meet, when the promise begins to rise from the seed long buried in the soil through many seasons. Now the unveiling has begun. It does not come like a sudden flood that sweeps everything away, but gently, layer by layer, step by step, so that each move you make is steady and lasting. I do not build in haste, for all rushed works are fragile. I open each door in rhythm with what you can bear, so you can walk and learn, receive, and know how to steward. Like the dawn breaking, the light does not blind all at once, but spreads slowly, allowing your eyes to adjust to a new day. When you look back, you will see that not a single moment was wasted. You will understand that each delay was not a rejection, but a redirection, steering you away from dead ends and hidden snares. Every pause was not neglect, but arrangement. Me quietly placing each piece in its perfect position for the complete picture. Each moment you hesitated, thinking it was weakness, was actually a pause for the foundation to be strengthened, so that when you stepped in, you would not be shaken by sudden storms. You will realize that in those quiet days I was teaching you to hear my voice above every other sound. I was training you to distinguish between the call of mere opportunity and the call of destiny. I was making you patient enough that you would no longer be lured by what is fleeting. You did not know that while you stayed in position, I was moving across the earth to prepare the environment, the people, and the timing for this very moment. Therefore, when the door opens, you will no longer be gripped by fear or doubt. You will step forward with a confidence that does not come from personal achievement, but from the assurance that this is the appointed time I have set. And you will guard what I give you with the same surrendered and obedient heart that brought you to this moment. For you know, if waiting was the key that unlocked the door, then surrender will be the wall that protects it from every attempt to steal it away. The battle you have endured from the early days that seemed hopeless to the moments when you collapsed in tears was never only about what you lost. It was not simply meant to strip you of something in the past. Its deeper aim was fixed on the treasure that is about to be poured into your life. Its arrows were not aimed at your past accomplishments, but directly at the reward, the breakthrough, and the blessing I ordained for you before you were ever born. It sought to make you give up just before your hands could grasp what I promised, to make you stop only a few steps short of the finish line. The pressure you felt in the most grueling days was not a blow to your weakness as you once thought. In truth, it was a clear sign that you were standing on the edge of activation, the moment when everything is released, when what I have planted in you begins to blossom. For the enemy never wastes its strength on what has no value. It concentrates all its force on promised lands that are about to be birthed. The fiercer the storm, the closer the dawn. You did not see it, but all of hell has been watching your every step. It panicked when it saw you refuse the easy way, choosing instead to cling to the path of obedience to me. Each time you turned down convenience to hold on to what was right, it trembled. Every act of trust, no matter how small, no matter how hidden, was like an arrow piercing through its defenses. Every prayer you whispered in exhaustion, every tear you shed in the solitude of the night was a public declaration that you would not let go. And each time you chose holiness over compromise, hell itself shook, for it knew you were standing on an unshakable foundation. What you thought was weakness was in reality your purest strength. When you knelt, you thought you were collapsing, but in the spiritual realm, it was the moment the fire within you blazed higher. When you admitted your weariness to me, you thought you were slowing down, but in truth you were receiving fresh strength to go farther. The enemy hates to see this because it knows that once you reach the time I have set, no power will be able to stop the outpouring of that blessing. You must understand, this pressure is not the sign of failure. On the contrary, pressure is the signal that you are about to break through the final barrier. A warrior never faces the greatest battle unless victory is near. In the same way, you are in the season where every strike feels more intense, because just one more step will unleash what I have been preparing for you, flooding into your life like a mighty waterfall. Therefore, do not be discouraged when it seems as if everything is against you. Understand that the pressure only proves one thing: you are in the sights of something great. Hell does not attack those without value. It has no interest in those who have chosen to give up. But you have made it afraid, because you keep moving forward despite your wounds. You keep praying without seeing immediate results, and you keep your heart pure before me, even when every convenience calls you to compromise. I want you to know this: every prayer you thought vanished into the air has in fact been gathered by me and placed into a golden bowl in heaven. Every act of faithfulness, every choice to believe rather than doubt, has built a strong wall around your blessing. When the appointed time comes, no power, whether in the heavenly realms or on the earth, will be able to touch it. And when that day comes, you will look back on every battle you have fought and understand that they were never meant to destroy you, but to make you strong, steadfast, and ready. For what I am about to give requires more than hands to receive. It requires a heart steadfast enough to keep it. You have been forged through those very pressures, so that now when I open the door, you will not only step in, but stand firm, unshaken by anything. What I am preparing to pour out upon your life is not a light drizzle that merely dampens the ground and then disappears. No, my child, this is a flood of blessings, a waterfall of power that will shatter every wall that has long stood in your way. It will not merely seep into a few corners of your life, it will overflow, fill, and wash away every trace of drought you have endured. Everything that once sought to confine you within limits will be swept away, and you will find yourself standing in a new space, wide free and brimming with life. And this is what I want you to engrave upon your heart. No force, whether in the natural realm or the spiritual, can intrude upon or hinder what I have ordained for you. Once I have spoken, it cannot be revoked. Once I have inscribed your name upon a promise, no power can erase it. No curse, whether uttered in the shadows or whispered in the hearts of men, can overturn my plan. Those words of malice will fall to the ground powerless, for they cannot pass the barrier of the Lamb's blood that covers your life. No fear, no matter how long it has been nurtured, can delay what I am about to do. Fear exists only when you allow it. But now, my light will shine to scatter that darkness, and you will see that fear never truly had authority over you. It has only been an illusion the enemy constructed to make you halt your steps, and as you move forward, it will vanish like morning mist under the Sunday. No opposition, no matter how stubbornly it clings, can outlast what I have decreed. They may be loud, they may exert pressure, but their time has run out. When I have chosen the moment, every force of resistance will be compelled to step aside. Opposition can only exist in the pause before I act, but once I speak, it will be like the walls of Jericho falling not by human strength, but by the command that comes from heaven. You must understand that this blessing is not a temporary gift. It is sealed by my eternal power and will. I do not pour it out so that you may rejoice for a moment and then fall back into lack. What I am doing will leave a lasting mark. It will change the way you see yourself, it will change the way others see you, and above all, it will make everyone know that it was I who did it. You will see doors that have been locked for years swing open without you having to pound on them. You will see people who once turned away now come forward to take your hand, not because you sought them, but because I have touched their hearts. You will see provision flow from places you never imagined. Everything will move in such a way that it will be unmistakable that my hand is directly at work. This is not a fleeting breeze. It is a new season, a time of transformation that you will not mistake. And when you step into it, you will understand why I had you wait so long, why I kept you from things that seemed good but were only counterfeit versions of the real. You will understand that I did not only want you to receive, but to keep it so that it might bear fruit that lasts for eternity. My child, be ready, for once this torrent of blessings begins to flow, it will not stop until every empty space is filled, every fracture is mended, and every promise is fulfilled in its entirety. This is not a trickle of provision, but an overwhelming outpouring far beyond your every expectation, so that you will know I am the God of abundance, not the God of lack. What I am working in your life at this very moment goes far beyond the boundaries your mind has ever imagined. You cannot measure it by past experiences, nor can you compare it to previous patterns, for this is a step never before seen in your journey. It is not a repetition of what has already happened, nor an upgraded version of what you have known, but a wholly new work, a direct intervention from heaven, initiated and completed by my own hand. The outpouring you are about to step into has not been crafted by chance. I have designed it with precision, tailored exclusively for the mission I have entrusted to your life. Every detail, every part, every rhythm has been measured with care, perfectly aligned with the capacity, calling, and sphere of influence you will carry in this new season. This is not a generic blessing, but a portion named for you, like a garment custom-made to fit one no other can wear but you. I have fashioned this with deliberate intent, nothing excessive, nothing lacking. My purpose is not merely to bring you joy for a fleeting moment, but to completely transform the way you walk, perceive, and live out your calling. Every part of this outpouring is ignited by the fire from heaven, the very fire that once led my people through the night, consumed opposing forces, and purified what was unclean. Now that same fire burns upon your life, not to destroy you, but to refine you and illuminate the path before you. And more than that, everything I give is saturated in the oil of my favor. This favor will cause doors once sealed shut to swing open, draw people who once kept their distance to seek you out, and make resources that seemed impossible suddenly available. This favor will place you in positions you could never reach by your own strength, and will keep you standing firm there, unmoved by the storms of life. My child, this is not a revival, spoken of only in theory, or confined to the pages of a book. This is a living transformation already at work, a complete renewal that will touch every part of you, your mind, your heart, your spirit, and even the environments where you dwell. It will refresh your faith, resurrect dreams you thought had died, and restore the parts of you you believed could never heal again. You will begin to see events unfold at such a rapid pace that your natural reasoning will struggle to keep up. Things you have waited for over many years will suddenly take place in mere days, even hours. Opportunities will arise unexpectedly, and new connections will form without your striving to make them happen. All of this movement will bear one unmistakable mark: my hand is in it. You will know, and those around you will know, that this is not the product of chance or luck, but the result of a plan set in motion long ago, timed to perfection. This transformation will not stop with you. It will flow outward to everyone and everywhere you touch. The light and life from what I give will flood into relationships, into work, and into environments you once believed were too barren to ever change. And when it happens, you will understand deeply that every year of waiting, every delay, and every fierce battle was an essential part of preparing you for this very moment. Therefore, prepare your mind and heart. Open your arms wide and release every fear, for you are about to step into a wave of grace and power unlike anything you have ever known. And when you are in the midst of that current, you will not only be transformed, but you will become a living testimony for all, to see that God is faithful. He does not merely speak promises, but fulfills them completely, exceeding anything you have ever asked or imagined. Now you have been perfectly prepared to stand firmly in the very place you once thought you would never set foot. This position has not come by chance or by your own strength, but as the result of a long process in which I have patiently led, shaped, and protected you. The days you felt lost, the nights you collapsed in tears, each one was a step leading you to this moment. You do not need to patch up shortcomings or race to prove your worth, for the yes you have spoken to me throughout the journey is enough to place you right in the path of the blessing that is now arriving. Your surrender is the very ticket into this new season. It is not a weak resignation, but a powerful trust, a declaration that you choose my will over the easier road. That choice has positioned you to receive the flow of blessings I am now releasing. And now, as the wave begins to pour forth, I want you to engrave one thing upon your heart: keep your roots deep and strong. Do not let the rapid pace of unfolding events shake you or cause you to question their source. You will see doors swing open one after another, long-prayed petitions answered in quick succession, and opportunities lining up before you. But remember, every single one of them comes from me, the one who quietly prepared them during your season of waiting. As things unfold faster than you ever expected, let your faith grow deeper, not your confusion grow stronger. Do not let blessings, however dazzling, distract you or cause you to forget the giver. For blessings are not the ultimate destination. Intimacy with me is the true treasure. If you cling to the gift while abandoning the giver, you will slowly lose the deeper meaning of it all. But if you keep your heart fixed on me, this flow will not only continue, but will deepen, strengthen, and endure. Remember, roots are unseen, yet they determine the life of the entire tree. When blessings come, you may attract more attention, more people may seek you out, but the most important thing is to keep your roots anchored in my love and truth. Roots firmly planted in me will keep you standing through every wind, whether it blows in your favor or against you. Treat every gift I give as a reminder that I am with you, and that everything you receive is part of a greater plan I have already set in motion. Do not let any human attention, any praise, or any recognition cause you to forget the true purpose, to live for my glory and to reveal my love to the world. My child, if you keep your heart in the right place, if you continue to place me first, this flow will never run dry. It will not be just a short-lived season, but a continual spring flowing from my throne through you, reaching everyone you touch. The blessing will not stop with you, but will become a river, refreshing the dry places around you. And then you will see that it is your steadfast faithfulness to me that has kept the stream of blessing fresh, strong, and unblocked. Let go completely of the thought that you must meet certain qualifications or prove yourself worthy before receiving the good things I have for you. My child, I am not a calculating master who pays wages according to effort, but a father who delights to give abundantly and fully to his children. My heart does not withhold, nor give reluctantly, but pours out with limitless love and joy in seeing you nourished, strong, and radiant. What you are about to receive is not a reward for doing something good enough, but the expression of unconditional love, a love that chose you before you ever drew your first breath. The outpouring I am releasing into your life this time does not stop at merely meeting needs or filling gaps. It is deeper, wider, and far more meaningful than that. It is a clear affirmation of your worth and your place in my heart. Every blessing, every opportunity, every open door in this season is my way of declaring, you belong to me, and I will never forget you. I am using these very blessings to mark your life with the truth that you are loved, chosen, and destined to walk in abundance. Now you will no longer be hidden away or kept in the shadows as in years past. I am bringing you out of obscurity and setting you in a place where others will clearly see my hand upon you. You will step into a visible, undeniable, and unstoppable cascade of blessings. Everything I have promised, no matter how long you have waited, will begin to pour down like a mighty rain, washing away the drought. These will no longer be distant, dangling promises, but tangible, touchable, undeniable realities. And my child, this is not something that will happen someday far off. It begins now. Even in this very moment, the wheels of destiny are turning faster and stronger, bringing you closer to the breaking point of fulfillment. What you once perceived as bitter rejection in the past was in truth my hidden hand carving out a private entrance for you, a path of honor no one else could walk before you. I closed the wrong doors to preserve the right one, ensuring that no force, no person, and no circumstance could block, steal, or limit what I have prepared for you. You may have cried when you felt left behind, but you will come to understand that being left behind was me keeping you in my waiting room, so that when the door opened, you would walk through at the exact time, in the exact position, with perfect preparation. It was not delay, it was precision. And when you cross this threshold, no one will be able to say it was mere luck, for all will see plainly, this is the work of Almighty God. In this season, you will realize that every past no was part of the plan to lead to a greater, deeper, more glorious yes. Every step you take into this torrent of blessing will testify that I not only keep my promises, but I exceed anything you have ever asked or imagined. This is not simply the start of a new chapter. It is the complete transformation of your life's story, ensuring that from this point forward, no one and nothing can strip away the glory I have appointed for you. You are about to enter a defining moment, a turning point that cannot be reversed, a shift no power can overshadow or remove. What is about to happen will no longer hinge on human will, plans, or opinions. It will not matter who has tried to hold you back or impose their timelines or limits on you. All of that has now become irrelevant, for I, myself, have opened this way. And when I open, no one, no matter how powerful, can shut it. This is the moment for you to stop looking back at what did not happen, at the doors that closed, or at the opportunities that seemed to slip away. Those things are shadows behind you, but before you lies a new path taking shape with every step. Set your full heart and strength toward what I am building right before your eyes. You do not need the approval of those who failed to see your true worth, nor the permission of those who once passed over or underestimated you. Your worth and position come not from them, but from the one who created you with a purpose no one else can replace. This door is not being opened because of human recognition or praise, but solely because of the mission I gave you before the foundation of the world. This is my door, locked and unlocked by my will alone, and when I have set the time, it will open, and no one will be able to stop it. Now I am calling you by name. I am summoning you forward. I am removing every barrier that once stood in your way. I am breaking every lock, every chain, every accusation, and every delay. You are not late. This moment has not been missed, nor has it arrived even a second too late. You are not behind schedule, for everything has unfolded exactly as I have ordained, and every step you have taken has led you precisely here. You have not been cast aside, no matter how many times others have turned their backs on you or closed doors in your face. The truth is, you are standing exactly where I want you to be, at the very threshold of a new chapter, where promises begin to bloom, where purpose comes alive, and where blessings take tangible form. Know this: when I say step in it, means everything is already in place. Nothing is missing, nothing is incomplete. The things that once held you back, the doubts that once plagued you, the fears that once bound you, all have been removed. You will see that the waiting you have endured was never wasted. It prepared you to enter without trembling, to hold firmly to what I give without losing it. Move forward without hesitation or reluctance, for I am right before you, guiding your every step, and no one can stand between you and what I have destined. This is not just an open door. It is my emphatic declaration that you belong here, that you have been prepared for this, and that this is your appointed time. I have sent forth my angels to engage in the work that has long been delayed, waiting for you to reach the maturity and stability needed to meet the moment I ordained before the foundation of the world. That moment has now come, and no power can hinder or postpone it any longer. You have crossed the threshold into a new season, one where every promise I have spoken begins to take visible form. From this moment, you will begin to witness unexpected movements, answers arriving as swiftly as lightning, and divine confirmations appearing through circumstances you never anticipated. Do not allow your mind to be consumed with overanalyzing, for what I am doing surpasses your calculations. Do not be afraid of the pace quickening, for I am the one who sets the rhythm and grants peace to your heart, even when events unfold faster than you have ever known. Every moment of this day has been woven by my hand with deep meaning, even in things that feel unfamiliar or difficult to understand. You are not wandering these paths by accident. I have carefully placed signs along your way like lamps to guide your steps, and now they are lighting up one by one. Each sign is not only proof of my presence, but also a reminder that you are on the right path, moving closer to the glory I have prepared. Some signs may seem small or insignificant, but when you look back, you will see how they connect into a complete picture, each piece already set in place before you even recognized it. Let your spirit be open to receive the ways I choose to reveal myself beyond your expectations. At times, I will open a door the very moment you lay your hand upon it. At times, a confirmation will come through someone you never imagined would speak it. At times, a seemingly random situation will carry the exact message you need to hear in that moment. I want you to understand that everything in motion is not chaos, but a divine symphony under my direction. Every note, every beat, every resonating chord has its place in the song of your destiny. Do not let your heart be troubled by what you cannot yet explain. My wisdom is not confined to your way of thinking. I know when to accelerate, when to slow down, when to push you forward, and when to hold you in place to protect you from snares. You need only to keep your heart steady and quiet in the peace I give. It is a peace the world cannot give and cannot take away, a peace that surpasses all circumstances, even when the new things come rushing in like a mighty waterfall. When you encounter something unusual today, do not be quick to dismiss it. Pause and ask yourself, could this be part of God's plan? For sometimes it is through those very unexpected things that I am opening a door for you to step into something greater. I have caused the signal lights to begin shining, not to merely beautify the path, but to guide each step you take. If you walk in darkness, you will need light, and that light is my confirmation assuring you that you are not lost. Remember this, not a single promise I have spoken will ever prove void or be forgotten. When I have given my command to the angels to act, all of heaven and earth must align in obedience. What you have been waiting for has already been sealed in the heavenly realms, and now it is being delivered into your life. The answers will not be limited to what you have asked for. They will go far beyond, because I am the one who always does immeasurably more than all you could think or request. You will be astonished when some answers appear before you have even prayed for them. That is because I have heard the silent cries of your heart, and I have not overlooked a single tear you have shed. Be ready for divine surprises. There will be moments when it feels as though everything is happening at once, and you may feel you cannot keep up. But that is when you must remember, I have been preparing the foundation for you long before this moment. You are not stepping into new ground empty-handed. You are carrying with you the experiences, the patience, and the faith that have been refined through the fire of trials. What you are witnessing today is the fruit of a long journey you have walked with perseverance. So do not be alarmed by the swift pace. Do not doubt when you see everything aligning too perfectly. I am the creator of time, and I am weaving these moments flawlessly into the schedule of heaven. When I declare the time has come, all creation will move to fulfill my word. Every mountain that once stood in your way will be leveled into a plain. Every door that was once locked will open easily, and everything that once caused you to hesitate will be removed, so you can run forward unhindered. Walk on in trust. Remember that the signs I place along your path are not only to announce what is coming, but to remind you that I am always with you. When you see a sign shining before you, let it strengthen your heart that I am near. When you receive a confirmation, know that it is my encouragement for you to continue. And when an answer comes unexpectedly, let your heart overflow with gratitude, for it is proof that I am always listening. Today is not an ordinary day. This is the beginning of a new wave of revelation, where you will see my faithfulness displayed in undeniable ways. You will recognize that every step you take, every choice you make, every encounter you have, all have been carefully arranged by my hand. And when you look back, you will not be able to help but say, "Truly the Lord has done great things for me." You have spent yourself pouring out your strength, your time, and your mind, trying to force open doors that were never meant for you. You have worn yourself out wondering what more you needed to do, whom you needed to approach, or fearing you had missed some crucial step in your journey. In the long nights of restlessness, you have questioned yourself, scrutinized every decision, and blamed yourself for thinking that if you had only done better, faster, or stronger, things might have turned out differently. But now I want you to know not every door is worth knocking on, not every path is meant for you to take, and not every outcome is born from relentless pursuit. Today I am stepping into your life with a provision that is entirely different. This provision will meet you right where you are, not where you think you must run to. You will not need to chase after it, for it will recognize you, find you, and embrace you. The season of running in pursuit of results has ended. The season of the hunt has closed, making way for the season of harvesting grace. You have endured the days of sowing in tears, the long hours of waiting without a single reply. You have borne the silence not because I abandoned you, but because I was allowing the seed of faith within you to take deep root, preparing for the season of full bloom. Now the reward does not come because you exhausted yourself chasing after it, but because it has recognized the fullness of your surrender. It draws near not because you meet the standards of this world, but because you have obeyed and trusted according to the standard of the kingdom. In this season, you no longer need to explain yourself. You do not have to justify your past, nor prove your worth through accomplishments or the praise of others. Your value has been sealed in my hand long before you ever set foot on this journey. Let your heart find rest in this truth. What I have prepared will be in complete harmony with your obedience. It will not pull you off course, will not demand that you compromise with what grieves my heart, and will not require you to abandon intimacy with me in exchange for human approval. The gift I give will come to you like a perfectly fitting piece, whole and complete, without needing you to force it or reshape it. You will recognize it the moment it arrives, for it will carry the fragrance of peace, not the pressure of striving. It will come with the song of joy, not the sigh of weariness. Through all this time I have seen every drop of your sweat and every tear you have shed. I have heard the prayers you whispered when you were alone. I have known the moments you wanted to give up yet chose to stand. And I have watched as you kept walking even when the darkness pressed in simply because you believed I was leading you. These are the moments that have written a testimony stronger than any defense. A testimony that your faith is not anchored in circumstances, but in the one you trust. When this reward arrives, you will not need to run about trying to hold on to it. You will stand still and witness the salvation of the Lord. You will feel as though the heavens have opened, and light has poured down, touching every empty space in your life. What once filled you with anxiety will dissolve. Questions that once lingered unanswered will be resolved not with words, but with acts of power. You will understand that every day of waiting, every step that seemed meaningless, was in truth leading you to this very moment. And when you receive it, you will find it unlike anything you ever imagined. There will be no more clinging to it in your own strength, no more fear that one day it will slip away. For what comes from me will have its own life safeguarded by my own hand. No one can take it from you, and nothing can destroy it, for it has been woven from my eternal purpose. It will grow with you, walk beside you, and bear unending fruit, not because of your strength, but because I am its source of life. Therefore, do not fear being still. Do not think that if you do not act, everything will slip away. In truth, it is when you choose to stand firm in faith that you are in the perfect place to receive. When you stop seeking the approval of people, you will realize I have always approved of you. When you cease comparing your journey to others, you will clearly see the path I have set apart for you. And when you stop chasing after results, you will see the results moving toward you. My child, this is the moment for you to change the way you see everything. Let your heart open to receive rather than strain to grasp. Let your faith become a vessel ready to hold, rather than a net endlessly cast without knowing what it will catch. For what I give will not rob you of peace. On the contrary, it will make you more steadfast, more free, and overflowing with a joy beyond words. And when all things begin to unfold, you will understand that I have never forgotten you for even a single moment. I have never allowed your reward to be misplaced or fall into someone else's hands. Everything has been securely kept in my treasury, waiting for this exact moment. Now that the season has arrived, all you need to do is open your arms and receive it. There is no need to rush. There is no need to doubt. Simply believe that I, the one who began the good work in you, will complete it in perfect fullness and glory. You are standing exactly where I have ordained you to be since before time began. Not a single step you have taken has been meaningless, even in those moments when you thought you were walking in circles or wandering down paths with no clear end. In truth, every step has been a rung on the sacred compass I hold, each one leading you toward the appointed meeting written in my will. You have not been left behind. You lack nothing. You are moving in perfect rhythm with the heavenly timetable, a timetable known fully only to me. And what belongs to you, what has been inscribed with your name in, my book has already been dispatched to arrive at the most perfect moment. I have never required you to exhaust yourself in order to prove your worth. I have never asked you to plead or knock again on doors that once closed before you. Those doors did not shut because you were not good enough, but because they would not lead you to the place I have chosen for you. That is why I call you into rest, not the passivity of neglect, but the deep peace born from absolute trust that I am the one bringing it to you. You no longer have to chase after it, for it is moving toward you guided by my own hand. This outpouring cannot be bought by sleepless nights of worry or days heavy with fatigue. It is not propelled by haste, but drawn by the perfect alignment of your heart with my intent. When you quiet your heart, when you cease striving to force your own way forward, you step almost without realizing it into the very intersection between my timing and your preparation. This harmony has made you fertile ground for the seed of blessing to take root. Now your heart is still enough to fully hear my voice. There is no longer the noise of anxiety, no echo of disappointment, no tug of war between want and fear, only the clarity of my spirit whispering into your mind. You will find that my guidance is not loud, yet it is precise, not showy, yet it carries authority, not forceful, yet strong enough to alter the course of your life. And in that stillness you will see the path ahead open wide, free from resistance. The obstacles that once blocked your way will now seem to dissolve. Not because they never existed, but because my power has stripped them of their influence. You will find yourself walking through places that were once walls, but now stand as open gates. You will tread paths that once discouraged you at the mere thought, yet now you will walk them with the ease of one who knows they are being divinely led. My child, remember that my placement is never wrong. In the past, you may have felt uncertain, thinking you were late or off course. But I want you to know that every winding path, every pause, every delay was calculated by me. They were not meant to waste your time, but to ensure that when you reached the promised place, you would have the strength to remain there. Consider this: if I had allowed you to arrive earlier, perhaps you would not have been mature enough to hold what I was giving. If I had let you open a door that was never meant for you, perhaps you would have traded your peace for a fleeting moment of success. But because I love you, I did not allow that to happen. And now, as the time has fully ripened, you will see that every no from the past was to lead you into the absolute yes of today. In this season, you will no longer be driven by the pressure to do something immediately. Instead, you will see each step you take marked by certainty and every decision you make sealed with peace. You will begin to sense my flow, a current that is neither rushed nor delayed. This flow will carry you in the right direction, pushing you past every resistance you once thought you had to overcome by your own strength. And I want you to know something important. When I open a way, no one can shut it. When I establish your position, no one can alter it. When I issue the command, no power can delay it. So continue to walk forward, not in haste, but with complete trust. You do not need to prove anything to the world, for I am the one who proves you. You do not need to defend your worth before human voices, for that worth has been sealed within my heart. The road ahead will not merely be a path to walk, but a journey of transformation. Every step will unveil more of the plan I have for you. You will meet people who bring confirmation, encounter opportunities that align perfectly with the vision I placed within you, and see doors open without you even having to knock. All of this will happen not because you ran fast, but because you moved in the right direction and at the right time. Therefore, my child, keep your heart in peace. Keep your ears open to hear my voice and your eyes clear to recognize the signs I have placed along the way. You will find that when you trust me enough to stop chasing, you will be led to the place where the deepest desires of your heart are fulfilled, not in the way you imagined, but in the way I have ordained from the very beginning. And when you arrive there, you will know it was all from me, and all glory belongs to me forever. When I begin to reveal what I have promised, the enemy will not remain idle. He will try in every way to plant in your mind sweet-sounding whispers laced with poison. He will tell you that what you are seeing and feeling is too good to be true. He will sow the thought that this is just a fleeting dream, that it will vanish as quickly as it appeared, pulling you into a spiral of doubt and fear. But my child, I want you to ignore every one of those murmurs. Do not let your ears linger on his voice. Do not let your mind be occupied by the assumptions of darkness. What I am giving you this time is not fragile or fleeting, but a work built upon a solid foundation laid by my own hand. It has rooted so deeply that no wind of doubt can uproot it. Its roots do not merely reach into the soil of present circumstances, but deep into the heart of promises I have spoken before time began. I have allowed it to endure seasons of drought so it would learn to draw life from my source. I have let it stand in strong winds to prove it can withstand pressure. And I have given it seasons of silence so it would not be swayed by the absence of applause or human recognition. My child, this is something I have built, not to survive only in calm, but to stand firm even when the storms arise. I have reinforced it with promises that never fail. Each promise is like an unshakable pillar supporting the entire structure, so it will never collapse. You can be certain that when I say I will do it, no power in heaven or on earth can stop it. When I open, no one can close. When I establish, no one can dismantle. This time, when I place it in your hands, you will no longer live in fear that it will crumble under pressure. It will not be snatched away by anxious hands seeking to control it. For this does not belong to them, it belongs to you, and I have written your name upon it. It was not formed in the scramble of human competition, but in the decree of heaven's authority. It does not exist to please the crowd, but to fulfill the divine purpose I have entrusted to you. No voice, however cunning, can manipulate its way to destroy what I have built. Lies will slide off it like water off stone, for it is shielded by the walls of grace and truth. Even if the enemy tries to use those closest to you to plant confusion in your heart, you will remain steadfast because you know my voice and will not mistake it for the noise of the world. No bitterness from others will be able to touch or ruin this breakthrough of yours. I have shielded it from envious eyes and from words of curse. I have allowed it to mature in a hidden place, so that when it emerges, no one can claim they were the one who created it. Therefore, no one will be able to destroy it. This success of yours does not come from being approved by man, but from being sealed by me, myself. Remember, my child, that every true breakthrough must be tested. Yet I have put this one through the fire to prove it pure. I have led you through trials so that you would have the strength to carry it without being crushed by it. I have refined your motives so that when you receive it, you will not use it for personal gain but for my glory. This very process has turned what I am giving into a treasure that cannot be stolen, a victory that cannot be reversed. Therefore, when the enemy tries to make you doubt, recall what I have brought you through. Remember how I kept you standing when everything around you collapsed. Remember how I provided when you had nothing in your hands. Remember the times I made a way in the wilderness, and let those memories become a shield against every lie. I want you to keep your heart anchored in this certainty. What I give you will remain. It will not vanish like a soap bubble under the sundae. It will not be swept away by the fickle winds of public opinion. It will stand firm like an ancient tree in the square, giving shade to many, and bearing fruit in season, for its roots are anchored deep in me, the one who never changes. And as you live in this reality, you will see that my peace is greater than your fear. You will realize that you do not have to protect it with worry, for I myself am the protector. You do not have to hold it with control, for I am the keeper. All you need to do is walk faithfully in my leading, and allow this to grow and blossom at the appointed time I have set. There will be those who are allowed to witness this unveiling, not to satisfy a grudge, nor for you to find joy and revenge, but so that they may see with their own eyes my power and faithfulness. This is not a stage for you to stand and receive applause or the cheers of the crowd, but an altar of glory where every eye must turn toward me, the one who has done it. All glory must return to its rightful place. What I am releasing to you will become living proof that you were never forgotten, never once abandoned, and never pushed aside by me. Even when you thought you were being overlooked in the silence, I was there sheltering you and quietly preparing something too great to be done in haste. I know precisely when a seed is ready to push above the soil, and I know that for a flower to bloom brightly, there must first be time for its roots to grow deep and its stem to become strong. Those who once looked at your life and concluded, "Nothing is happening," will soon have to change their minds. For while they only saw a still surface, I was steadily crafting something holy beneath. It could not be revealed to them too soon, for I have hidden it within the secrecy of my covering, so that no hand could touch and spoil it. But when my time comes, I will reveal it before their eyes plainly, unmistakably, undeniably, and when they see it, it will not be to shame or humiliate them. My purpose is never to wound anyone's dignity. I want them to know that my choice of you has never been based on votes or human approval. I do not seek the consent of the crowd before I determine a destiny. I am the I Am, and my will requires no referendum. You will see this when the unveiling happens. Even those who once doubted, you will be forced to admit that only one hand could have done it, the hand of the Lord. The words that once broke your heart will become powerless. The judgments that once limited you will be erased. No one will be able to say that you achieved this by your own schemes, for the way I work will surpass every method of man. My child, remember that every delay in your eyes is in fact protection in mine. If I had revealed it earlier, they would not have been mature enough to understand, and you would not have been steady enough to keep it. If I had let it come to light too soon, it would have been distorted, judged, and perhaps destroyed. But now, as both you and the gift I am giving have reached full maturity, nothing and no one can stop it. This unveiling will be like the dawn tearing through the night. At first it will be but a single ray, yet it will swiftly spread, illuminating every corner, until no one can deny it. They will see that I have been there all along, working in the silence, and that every moment you waited was never wasted. Every tear you shed, every whispered prayer, every steady step you took, without seeing results, all have been part of the foundation for what I am now bringing into the open. And when this is revealed, Some will draw near to ask you, "How did this happen?" You will not need to list your efforts, but simply point to me and say, "The Lord did it." For my purpose has always been for all to know that the glory belongs to me alone, and that I remain the one who chooses, blesses, and raises up whomever I will, regardless of human opinion or plan. Be ready for that moment, not by preparing a speech, but by keeping your heart pure and humble. For when this happens, the eyes fixed on you will truly be directed toward me, and that is the greatest reward, to be a living testimony of the love, faithfulness, and power of the Creator. You have walked through long days of endurance that only I truly know. You have gritted your teeth and moved along quiet roads, carrying burdens no one could understand, bearing wounds without comfort, and keeping silent when every other voice found it easy to judge. But my child, none of what you have endured has been in vain. Now what I am about to do will speak louder than any explanation you ever longed to give to defend yourself. This unveiling will need no words from you, for its very result will speak on your behalf. The blessing that is coming is not for you to flaunt or boast about, but it will be so clear that all around you will see it. This is not a performance meant to draw attention, but a living proof of my faithfulness and of your steadfast faith. I will set my glory in the very place that once held your hidden pain, where you thought nothing could bloom. I will awaken new life. In the place where you once wept, you will smile. On the ground once barren from trials, I will cause abundant fruit to grow. What you have built in tears, every effort, every sacrifice, every time you knelt in prayer through the night, I will fortify and make unshakable so that no one can destroy it. Every brick you laid in faith will be covered by my protection and strength from heaven. The steps you took in pain, which you thought might break you, I am now anointing, so they become steps marked by power. You have walked in sorrow but did not give up, and that very perseverance will be multiplied into extraordinary strength for you to enter this new season. The prayers you whispered in trembling when your heart was heavy and your hands were cold from fear, I have heard every single one, and now I will amplify them into testimonies that resound, touching hearts and bringing many to their knees in the knowledge that only God could have done this. You have been faithful, even when unseen. When no eyes were watching and no words of praise were given, you have served quietly, sowing seeds, without seeking recognition. And now I will reward you in the sight of many, not so you may be exalted, but so all will know that I am the one who rewards the faithful. However, my child, I know your heart has been refined throughout this season of hiddenness. You have learned not to seek the approval of men, nor to place your worth in their gaze or in their praise. You have come to understand that the only light worth pursuing is the light that flows from my presence. Therefore, when the blessing comes, you will not be swept away by the eyes of the crowd. You will not seek glory for yourself, for you know full well who it is that has brought you here. You have learned how to stand firm in silence and walk through the darkness without losing your way. You have become accustomed to hearing my voice above the noise of the world. It is this very training that will keep you when the blessing is poured out. You will not be overwhelmed by attention, nor swayed by praise or whispers. You will know how to remain still, to keep serving, to keep loving, and to keep walking steadily in the direction I lead. And it is this humility that will cause your blessing to multiply. For I do not give to you merely for you to keep, but so that you may become a vessel through which that blessing flows, touching and transforming the lives of many others. You will become a living testimony that God does not forget anyone, that those who are faithful in the secret place will be rewarded openly. And when people ask about your secret, you will not need many words. One answer will be enough. It is all because of what the Lord has done, my child. This is the moment where your endurance meets my response. Every loss will be exchanged for abundance. Every wound will be healed with a joy that no one can take away. Every tear will become a seed that springs forth into a new harvest. And all of this will happen not because you have done enough, but because you have trusted me enough not to give up. The weight of glory I am about to place upon you will be deeper and stronger than anything you have ever experienced before. It will not be like a gentle breeze of temporary encouragement, but an atmosphere of power enveloping you, saturating every word you speak and every step you take. When you open your mouth, your words will not fall to the ground without effect. They will carry the power to shift circumstances, to stir hearts, to open doors long shut. When you step into a place, the atmosphere will change. Peace will spread, not because you have carefully chosen your words or skillfully managed your behavior, but because my presence goes with you and my anointing has marked you. This does not come because you sought to impress, nor is it a reward for excellence in the eyes of man. This is a gift from me given to you because you chose the path of obedience over the path of applause. You followed my call even when no one else walked beside you. You chose faithfulness in small things, and therefore I can entrust you with greater things. The crown you will receive will not be forged from the gold or jewels of this world, but woven from the invisible threads of trust. And you know well, trust is something I never give carelessly. It cannot be bought with talent measured by achievements or faked by appearances. It is given only to hearts that have been tested in the fire and yet remain pure despite the storms. Through every difficult season, you have proven that you cherish what is truly valuable, not what draws fleeting attention, but what holds eternal worth. When contrary winds blew strong, when the waves of life rose high to overwhelm you, your heart remained steadfast. You did not allow fear to lead you, bitterness to consume you, or loss to rob you of your ability to love and to trust. This very steadfastness has become the solid foundation upon which I can place upon you a weight of glory greater than anything you have ever imagined. My child, this anointing is not merely to adorn your journey, but to transform you into a mighty instrument in my hand. When you speak, I will place my words in your mouth. When you pray, I will move my angels into action. When you stand, darkness will be forced to retreat. All of this is not because of you, but because I have chosen to accomplish my work through you. And I know you will not wield this power for personal gain or to seek human recognition, for your heart has been tested and proven worthy. What is about to unfold will make you realize that every season of waiting, every moment that seemed forgotten, carried a purpose. Had I given you this glory earlier, it might have become a crushing burden. But now, with roots that run deep, with faith made steadfast, and with a heart purified of selfish ambition, you can bear it without being destroyed by it. If what you hear stirs your heart, subscribe and turn on the notification bell to journey together in every step of faith where the Word of God illuminates your path and His love guides you each day. The Lord is with you. Amen. And this is what I want you to remember: the trust I place in you comes with responsibility. You will become a living testimony for many who are in the midst of their storms. They will look to you and see that obedience, even in pain, ultimately leads to glory. You will not need to persuade them with eloquent words. Your very life will be the undeniable proof. My child, be ready. Keep your heart tender before me, even as power begins to flow through you more mightily than ever before. Do not let the cheers cause you to forget that all glory belongs to me. Do not let success make you forget the days when you wept in the secret place, for it was those very days that shaped you into the one I could place my glory upon. I do not seek vessels that are dazzling on the outside, but empty within. I seek vessels that can carry and preserve my presence. And you, after all, have become such a vessel. So when my glory rests upon you, let it not only touch you, but flow through you to reach every person you encounter. This is my purpose, not merely that you be filled, but that you become a continual stream of life, peace, and hope to this world. If what you hear touches your heart, click subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can continue walking with us in every step of faith where the Word of God illuminates the path and His love guides you each day. The Lord is with you. Amen.